Hello, my name is Dara Digbala. Time is one currency that we all have and is irreplaceable. It's one thing that, when used well, can produce astonishing results. One thing that determines how well we are successful at any endeavor is time. Even if you were lucky to strike a gold mine, you need to learn how to manage time and yourself to be able to sustain it. Now, if you're not part of the lucky few, you might need to, work towards it, and it requires time. I'll be discussing how best to manage our time effectively by integrating the most common ones available and explain why most people tend to get it wrong when they try to plan themselves. I'll be using my personal example of how I use the time management metrics for daily and weekly activities. Now, when we look at time management, there are different techniques. This could range from writing notes, daily checklists, using calendars for fixing appointments, measuring the value of different activities before choosing the ones to do, and also the time management quadrant, also known as the Eisenhower matrix. The truth is, there's no one best technique for managing time. Every one I listed earlier is best used when integrated. I'll be focusing more on the Eisenhower matrix, also known as the time management quadrant. Anyone familiar with John C. Maxwell's books, Stephen Covey's books, will encounter this metrics or time management quadrant. I have failed a couple of times in using this time management quadrant, and I have been able to master it through the years and has been very helpful to me. I will start with the end, then work my way forward. Before you can know how best to manage your time, you need to determine first what you plan on doing, and what you are doing should align with your purpose, or else time goes like the wind. I'll be starting with the Eisenhower matrix, then merge into measuring the values of activities before choosing what to do, then fixing into calendars, then into notes and checklists. Now, the time management quadrant. The time management quadrant groups activities into two groups: importance and urgency. Importance here deals with the value of activities or tasks, and urgency deals with time-bound tasks. It's then subgrouped into either high or low. So here's the quadrant. The vertical axis has the importance, which is high importance and low importance, while the horizontal axis has the urgency, which is high urgency and low urgency task. Quadrant 1 will be high importance and highly urgent tasks. These are tasks that require attention and will be detrimental if not done on time. Instance could be task given at our workplace. You need to earn wages, so if you don't do these tasks, you won't get paid, and it's very little you can do with no money. Quadrant 2 are tasks that are not urgent but important. This is the most important quadrant and where should be our major focus. Tasks in this quadrant are generally tasks that gives our life meaning. They are tasks that define us. Quadrant 2 to an athlete can be winning championships. Quadrant 2 to an academia can be doing groundbreaking academic works that add significantly to the body of knowledge. Quadrant 2 to a mother can be raising the best children and successful adults. Quadrant 3 are tasks that are not important but urgent. These are tasks that need to be done on time but might not be significant, meaning there might be a substitute. Now, these are majorly tasks that can be delegated. Say for instance, you want to get a list of grocery or an item. Someone close to you or a friend can help you get this. Or maybe you want to get your kids from school. The school bus can just drop them off instead of you going all the way, or even tidying your room. It's urgent, being that it helps to keep your room organized, but there might be present tasks that need your attention, and the cleaning can wait few hours. These are the type of quadrant 3 tasks. They are time bound and can be delegated. Quadrant 4 tasks are tasks that are urgent and not important. This type of tasks are basically what you do for fun. They are tasks that we like and can somehow seem like a distraction to us. They are usually tasks that we use to reward ourselves when we are tired and need rest. This could be as simple as playing video games, watching movies, going to cinema, or visiting friends. They are tasks we compensate ourselves with when we are tired from doing tasks in quadrant 1, which are important and urgent. However, before starting on the time management quadrant, we first need to ask ourselves the most important question: what is the purpose of our life? Some might ask the same question in a different way. Some might ask what matters to us most, or some may say, when you die, what do you want to be remembered by? The essence of this question is to dig deep into what gives our life meaning and live our lives fulfilling that goal. To some, it may mean being the best teacher to make people understand subjects better. To an artist, it might be perfecting the art of making music and seeing the joy on people's faces when they sing to them or make them laugh. To a public servant, it might be to liberate people from poverty. It is necessary to answer this question because we can never achieve true happiness and manage our time well if we do not. I'll be using typical life experiences to explain the application of these metrics to fully understand understand the time management metrics, I'll be using two different scenarios. One will be a student, while the other will be a middle-aged working class male. I'll be using my 21-year-old self, for example. I was in my third year of uni by then, and I'll explain how I will have used the time management quadrant. Firstly, I need to outline my roles, which will fit into quadrant 2. Now, I was a student that needed to pass exams. I was a class representative that needed to carry out class responsibilities. I need to build quality relationship with friends. I need to start understanding opportunities in the medical profession. Now, I want to be an entrepreneur after practicing medicine, so I need to start learning towards this. I need also to be a good son to my parents and also a good brother to my siblings. Then we go to quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 will be preparing for an exam, reading books, organizing any class activities with the lecturers, or any immediate engagement such as organizing an outing or a program. Quadrant 3 could be doing my laundry, getting food, checking on my siblings and parents. Quadrant 4 could be visiting friends, playing video games, or going out to the cinema. Now, once all this is done, then I go to scheduling. Before we plan anything, it's always better to have plans for the week than daily plans. This is because when we plan only our days, we put pressure on ourselves and focus on time, not value. When we focus too much on time and not value, we will not be able to manage contingencies, and this will create stressful situations. Now, still on student example, let's say as a student, I happen to meet someone I look up to in my lecturer's office when I went to do my normal activity. That's a chance of a lifetime, and I might have scheduled about 5 activities for the day. This is a chance I will not get again. If I'm too carried away with my time planned, I will miss the opportunity of having a conversation with this person that might be just an hour or two and lose the opportunity of a lifetime. But because I know my principle of what I want to achieve and understand that if I delay some task by a day or a few hours, I'll still get it done. I can have more control of myself, not my time controlling me. When we plan activity for the day, the goal should be to maximize time, because sometimes some tasks may be shorter than expected and some can be longer than expected. Once we have a weekly goal, it's easier for the daily plans to follow. Then we should always update our calendars so that as we plan our week, we can easily integrate them. When we plan activity for the day, the goal should be time maximizing, because sometimes some tasks may be shorter than expected and some may be longer than expected. Once we have a weekly goal, it's easier for the daily plans to follow. Then we should always update our calendar so that as we plan our week, we can easily integrate them. We can have notes and checklists as we go about our day. This way, we have been able to incorporate the whole time management framework into our daily life. Now, let's give another scenario of a middle-aged employee of a restaurant, say 35 years old, assistant manager of a restaurant. It should always start with his role and life accomplishment. This could be a successful father, become a director at the main company, be a good husband, be an effective boss, be a spiritually grounded person, have a passive income or investment. These roles will be in his quadrant 2. Then quadrant 1 could be daily stock count at work, making orders for the shop, training and employing staff. Basically, these are tasks he needs to get paid. It can include some personal tasks such as getting more certification to help his promotion. Quadrant 3 could be cleaning the store, making food, answering customers. Remember, these tasks could be delegated. Quadrant 4 could be planning, staff outing, socializing with friends and family. Because quadrant 1 are very important and necessary for his survival at work, it must be done first. When the assistant manager is planning his week with quadrant 1 activities, it is necessary to have a good week plan and insert some element of quadrant 2 into it. Considering the roles, after planning his tasks for the week, you should be able to set a day aside when he can close early and spend more time with family, or take some courses that will help him gain promotion to be a manager, or even create time to understand the team members and look for ways to be a better boss. Then the days can be planned accordingly, because if he doesn't put this into cognizance, he will be overwhelmed with quadrant 1 activities. He won't be able to do any of the quadrant 2 activities every week and find himself living less fulfilling life. Fairly speaking, quadrant 2 activities are tasks that make our lives meaningful. In terms of daily planning, I'll share something I got from Ali Abdal. He's a YouTuber that specializes in productivity. You should check his page out. His content are actually quite enlightening. He said when you are planning your day, you should have daily highlights, in that it should be something that is urgent or fun or most satisfying. He emphasized that when you are done with the day and don't fulfill all you needed to do, There should be one thing you could be proud of that should be your daily highlight. Also note that it is best to always have a calendar. It might seem unnecessary, but it's the best way to be organized. Learn to put tasks on your calendar. Could be calling someone, could be a date for an exam, could be someone's birthday or anniversary. It's actually very important. Now to the most important point, practicability. Is this type of planning visible? Why would some people fail at this? The thing with the metrics, as with every endeavor, is that for every time you try out a new endeavor for the first time, there's a high probability you will get it wrong. So meaning if you start using the quadrants today, I bet you can be lost after the first day of trying it. But that does not mean it would not work. The first time I tried it in my late teens, I did awful, like very bad. I never really started perfecting this art until I was in my late 20s, and I've gotten better at it. So as with all things new, the will to do is always very important. Gradually imbibe this and see how it can transform your life. I will end this video with my own time management quadrant. For me, quadrant 2 are my long-term goals, such as building my YouTube channel, working on about 2 business ideas I have, and generating funding, learning 2 new languages, designing a time management quadrant phone app that can be personalized. Now my quadrant 1 activities will be tasks I need to achieve this, such as recording and editing videos, designing and writing code for the software I plan on designing, and registering and taking lessons on my Duolingo app. My quadrant 3 will be updates. Because I have interest in economics and entrepreneurship, I put activities here that are time bound, but I can also do without. For example, I check regular updates from publications like KPMG, Financial Derivatives, watch videos from Value Entertainment, Diary of CEO, Lex Friedman, and reading articles on Medium. Now this quadrant is usually the tricky one, because if you look at it, everything in the quadrant is something I can do without. However, because they release content consistently, if I don't check it regularly, I might miss a lot and have to do some catching up. Quadrant 4 is basically fun stuff. Quadrant 4 are basically activities you do when you are exhausted from quadrant 1. Mine is watching movies, going to eat in some restaurant I've not gone to and trying out new meals, list of my destination vacations I plan on going, and some other little stuff. So I will encourage us to try this in our lives. Trust me, it helps. Thank you.